Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm preparing and packing to go on a hunting trip out in New Mexico. I'm going after Audad, aka the Barbary sheep. They're a ram sheep indigenous to the Barbary coast of Africa, brought over early 1900s to the Texas area. They squirted over New Mexico. You can hunt them on public lands out there and stuff. It's pretty brutal terrain in this time of year. March, it's because it is desert, high desert. You see temperature fluctuations from low 20s all the way to the 60s in the afternoon. So you got to be pretty well prepared. So I'm basically just going to talk through what I have on my body, what I keep in my pack, and what we're carrying as far as optics and guns. So just to start off with, right off the bat, we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. These are pretty rugged leather Gore-Tex hiking boots because I don't anticipate the weather in the daytime when I'm moving around to be super cold. I'm actually going with an uninsulated version. Now to offset that, I'm using smart wool socks. I've always been a big fan of smart wool socks. I've been wearing smart wool socks and only smart wool socks, to include dress socks, since the early 2000s. And I'll have different weights, the heavyweight, all the way midweights, lightweight, so I can swap them out. I keep extras, of course, in my backpack. So pretty flexible pant here. And I have gone with Canis Athlete hunting gear. This is a soft shell pant, still pretty breathable, so it'll be okay on those days when they get a little warm. They're water resistant, wind resistant, so with under layers, I'll be nice and comfy even as it gets chillier in the mornings and the evenings. Now, I want a next to skin layer. This silk weight or next to skin, really lightweight layer, that's for when it gets nice and warm. If I have to strip all the way down to it, I'm still going to wear long sleeves to get some protection from the sun. I don't want to get sunburnt. And then same with a base layer. I'll have this for my lower body as well. And then the next step up, a mid-weight layer and a heavyweight layer. Same with the lowers. Then down, all right? My outer insulation layer for those really colder temperatures and stuff. I got my down jacket. I also have down overpants. So if I'm sitting glassing, it's cold outside, these are kind of cool. I like this style of pant because I can just throw them over. They zip up the sides like so, and I can just pull them on right over anything I'm wearing without having to take my boots off and that sort of thing. So these are pretty cool. Of course, rain layer, waterproof rain layer. Even if it's not raining, a lightweight rain layer, wind picks up, it's extra cold, throw this on, it's going to add to your overall insulation while keeping you waterproof in case it does rain, snow, or sleet. I keep a mid-weight set of gloves that I can wear and operate in and shoot in. I just split the fingers open and thumbs so I can feel what I'm doing. All right, but I just split them open. I don't actually cut them off, so I do keep most of the coverage there. And then, of course, some heavier over gloves, right? Insulated over gloves. I like to keep a balaclava as well in case that wind does pick up. I want to cover up my ears, face, nose, etc. Right? Cover up my neck a little bit better. And then, of course, a beanie. And I'll wear a baseball cap as well. And so I have pretty much everything covered. That's going to be either on me or in my pack, easily accessible at all times. I'm not going to leave this in my camp. This is all the stuff that's going to be on my backpack and with me at all times. So if I leave the camp and the weather changes, or I can't make it back to camp, it gets dark, temps drop, I have all this with me, and I won't be as susceptible to those crazy weather changes. Of course, also on me is my handgun and a knife. I become big fans of the outdoor edge type knives, right? It's pretty cool because I just carry an extra pack of blades. I don't have to sharpen my knife in the field. I can use it to cut up anything I need to work on or whatever. And then if I do put an animal on the ground, I can just swap out blades really quick. I've got a surgical steel razor blade that I can process and butcher my animal right there in the field. Like I said, some guys, they take sharpening stones and stuff with them in the field. Hey man, that's pretty old school. I dig it, but I'm trying to save weight. So, like I said, man, that's pretty much what I have either on me or easily accessible in the pack at all times. It's a little more of all the things I'm gonna use to camp. I mean, if you think about it, backcountry hunting is basically armed camping until you actually find some animals and get on them, right? So in this case, I'm going with what I consider to be a medium-sized pack. For cold weather, I'll usually carry 105 liter, like a 7,000 cubic inch pack and stuff like that. But I know where we're hunting, and I know we're only going to be within 3 miles of the truck at any given time. At least that's the plan for now. So I'm going with this pack. This is a Gregory 75 liter pack, about 5,500 cubic inches if I remember correctly. It's I carry civilian packs. I have this one, a bigger one of mine is an Osprey pack. I don't really like doing the military style packs. The packs themselves tend to be heavy. This pack weighs just over 4 pounds, and your typical hiker, whatever, would consider this an expedition pack or a 3 to 4 day pack. So it's a big pack that only weighs 4 pounds. If you look at some of the canvas military constructed style backpacks, this same pack's going to weigh double the weight. And I've had this pack, I bought it in 2011 for a hiking trip in Montana, and I've used it a bunch of times since, and it's still fully functional. So durability isn't really a concern there when you look at civilian packs. So of course in that pack is going to be my medical kit. This is a typical blowout kit, tourniquet, blood stoppers, that sort of thing. Because you could slip and fall, you can cut yourself with your knife, whatever, man. Freaking, I got my medical kit. This is my pillow. It's also my shoulder support bag for shooting, right? But I'm not going to carry a pillow and this, so this doubles as my pillow. It can also double as a seat, right? I like for my pieces of equipment to do more than one thing. Well, because we're hunting in the desert, I've got an extra bladder pack here. This is a 4 liter just dedicated water bladder that'll go in the pack. I don't have my hose water pack here, right? It's actually outside hanging up. That's a 3 liter. So I'll be able to carry a total of 7 liters into the field. And that should be good enough for about 3 days, as long as the temperatures stay, below 65 degrees. And so for night, when the nighttime comes, I've got my insulated sleeping pad. All right, and this is a self-inflating, right? You have to blow them up. I don't know why they call them self-inflating, but it's insulated for an extra layer between me and the ground. Lord knows the earth will just suck your body temp right out of you. So an insulated pad, whether it's summertime or wintertime, I rolled an insulated sleeping pad. Of course, sleeping bag, and this is a 20-degree sleeping bag. I plan on, for this trip, I only need this 20-degree one because I can always take my down jacket, my clothing and stuff like that, put it in my bag if it gets anywhere below that comfortable point for this dude. I have a 0-degree and a -20 bag, and both of them are much larger. That adds weight. I don't really necessarily want to carry it for this trip. Hunting out west in the Rockies in the wintertime, I'm going with that 0-degree or even that -20-degree bag. And then lightweight tarp. Of course, you could carry just a regular tarp from Lowe's or Walmart or whatever. I'm always looking to save some weight. This is a 10 by 10 tarp from REI, super lightweight tarp. It weighs 12 ounces, less than a pound. So that's that. That's kind of a just in case thing, in case if it's raining, snowing, or sleeting. Even if it's in the daytime or whatever, I can always put this up. I can always wrap up in it, so on and so forth. But it's typically a camp item, but you know, hey man, why not have it? Of course, I've got my headlamp, extra batteries, little hatchet for chopping up whatever I need to chop up as far as, you know, firewood and so on and so forth. Extra blades for my outdoor edge knife. Orange vest for signaling. In New Mexico, you don't have to wear orange while you hunt, but I still carry it with me just in case I need to signal aircraft or an emergency vehicle or something like that, right? Or just wave off other hunters or anything like that. Nice to have. Of course, camp stove, right? I'm a big fan of the jet pull camp stoves. These days, pretty much every company makes something similar to this. Now, you can't fly with camp fuel, so I'm gonna have to acquire that when I get there. Yeah, I typically just roll with just this. I can do my coffee and I can heat my water up, put it in my Mountain Mills or something similar. So yeah, as far as food goes, each day I will carry 2 of your typical Mountain Mills. That's anywhere from 800 to 1,000 calories, and then I'll carry 2 to 3 protein bars. Now, I typically don't eat breakfast and lunch, so I won't eat until later in the day anyway. So if you eat more than that, you may want to carry 3 or 4 of those Mountain Mills and a couple extra protein bars, trail mix, whatever. Food tends to add up really quick as far as pounds go. Yeah, no bullshit. I usually lose weight when I'm in the field hunting. No different than when I was in the military. So, emergency fire starter. I got my lighter, and then I've got some cotton balls here laced with rubbing alcohol, like 95% rubbing alcohol. And then I've been collecting dryer lint, and I also picked up some sawdust out of the garage and added it to my dryer lint. I don't expect it to be cold, wet weather out there. Pardon me, correction. I don't expect it to be wet. I do expect it to be cold at night. But just in case, and that kind of stuff, I can get a nice fire starter started with this dryer lint or cotton balls. Even if something happened, I couldn't use my stove. I got a lot of options here for starting a fire. And, but yeah, man, it doesn't weigh anything. Why not have it just in case? Like I said, I fully anticipate there to be plenty of stuff laying around on the ground that I can start a fire with. But, you know, just recently that whole region had a really bad winter storm. So I don't want to get caught in that kind of stuff, right? For the weight, might as well have. And so there's not a lot of water out there, but I'm still going to carry my water purification tabs just in case. Probably don't necessarily need them, but again, doesn't weigh much. Might as well have them. And of course, I always carry some extra 550 or, you know, your civilian type little cord. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'll have in my pack / camping, ready for that base camp for setting up overnight, being nice and comfortable, or as comfortable as you can on a backcountry hunt. All right, so next up is our optics, tripod, laser rangefinder, guns, and all the stuff that comes into the actual hunting part of the hunting trip. So I have a Christensen Arms 300 PRC. The Audad are pretty stout animals. They can be 200 plus pounds, even larger, and the distances can be pretty far. So primary is the 300 PRC. Of course, I run Night Force optics. I know them to be tough. I've used them my entire career. That's why I choose them. And as a backup, just in case, I've got my 6.5 Creedmoor going as well, in case something happens to the 300 PRC. I have 2 extra magazines, or 2 magazines for each gun, a backup and a primary. The backup goes in top of the backpack, and then the primary I keep on me in my binos chest rig here. I'll keep it in this pouch here. I typically carry my rifle attached to the side of my backpack, and I don't want to risk losing my magazine, so I don't keep my magazine in it. It'd be really easy for something to hit that mag release and I lose my magazine, so I don't want to do that. So that's how I keep that stowed. Of course, I'm also got my Somsico Omega suppressor. Hunting with a suppressor can be advantageous just in and of the fact that if you take a shot and you miss, right, you may not spook the animals, but so badly. If you're hunting with a partner like I am, and on this trip, and most of my trips, then you may be able to, if there's one herd of animals, take more than one animal because you haven't spooked the herd, but so badly by taking the first shot on the first animal. Just some contingencies. Of course, I've got my tax stamp because laws and stuff. But yeah, 3 boxes of ammo just in case, because while we're out there, gives us an opportunity to shoot much further. We might get some long range practice in while we're out there as well. And then, yeah, the binos chest rig. So I like this. This one's made by Sitkis, got a couple extra pouches on it. And in it, I've got my Vortex laser rangefinder binoculars. I like bino laser rangefinder combos because it takes 2 pieces of equipment and combines it into one. Of course, I have my Kestrel to give me my ballistic solutions. And like I said, in this pouch is where I'll store my magazine, right? And then over here on this pouch is my GPS, right? An extra lighter, and my compass, kind of like my backup navigation / a little bit of survival. And in this back pouch back here, I have extra batteries to everything electrical, right, that I need. All the backups there, right? Of course, all this kind of stuff, my GPS, my Kestrel, and even the binos are all dummy corded or attached to this chest rig. So if I'm tired or something like that and I set something down, I get up and move off, they're attached to me. Basic infantry dummy cord technique. All right, that way I don't lose anything. Find yourself moving through thick brush and stuff like that, wait a minute vines and all that sort of thing, easily take stuff from you. So I don't want that to happen. Now, I also have my tripod, and the tripod for my rifle, I use the Really Right Stuff tripod, and I'm using an Arca rail system, really quick for attachment, adjustment, and all that kind of thing, right? Because reality is, it's not very often that we actually get to get in a prone and use our bipod. Take a bipod just in case, right? Just in case I wind up with that really odd position that I'm on a nice flat piece of ground that I can lay out flat, take a real comfortable shot. I'll have that bipod. But reality is the tripod is my go-to. All right. And then, because where we're hunting so wide open, we have to cover a lot of ground, we're taking a pretty heavy duty 60 powered spotting scope. This one's a Burris, kind of a mid-level spotting scope. You can go super fancy with spotting scopes or whatever. This is a Shadow Tech tripod, carbon fiber. Again, always trying to save weight. This nice little attachment here is made by Bog. You have to get a little adapter for your tripod or whatever, but it's pretty cool because I can slap in my spotting scope like so, and this little trigger dude makes it really easy to spot and see what I need to see. Right, nice and steady, really easily adjustable. So that's a nice little rig, nice setup. Not super duper heavy. Spotting scope itself is kind of heavy, but right? You got to carry the equipment you need. So yeah, oh yeah, forgot. I do have a sling for each gun. So when I am setting up my tripod, if I have time, I can add the sling and add even more stability to what I'm doing. Of course, lens pin to clean up my optics if I need so. I also keep a little lens cleaning cloth in my chest vinyl harness in case I need to clean up the lenses on any of my optics while out and in the field. But yeah, other than that, that's the basics, right? If I get in an environment, I find out I need something else, add it to the kit. If I need to run it into town, or en route to hunting, stop at a store, pick up the stuff I need, so be it. If, like in this camping trip, this armed camping trip, I know that I'm going to be relatively close to the truck, I might pick up some canned soups or something like that, something a little bit better that's a little more filling. So when I do get back, if we are actually camping nearby the truck or at the truck, then I can have something a little more substantial than a freeze-dried food packet for dinner. But other than that, man, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm going to be doing and carrying for this trip. And it's still pretty much the basics that I would use on almost any backcountry trip. The only thing I would change is how much insulation and how much cold weather gear I would be carrying. Or in cold environments, I may carry a little bit more food. But other than that, pretty simple stuff. Hope this is helpful.